Welcome to SustainabilityAdda, where our aim is to decode climate and economy. In this episode of Tracking Climate and Economy, we will examine and analyze how climate change is killing the global and the Indian economies. The world order is currently undergoing a tectonic shift due to climate change crisis, which is having a debilitating effect on the economy, ecology, businesses and humans at an unprecedented rate. Even then, most governments and institutions across the world are reacting and not responding to climate change and how it impacts them. A recent study by the World Economic Forum's Global Risks Report 2025 revealed that weather and climate change events and incidents are the second most difficult security threats after armed conflicts and war in the world. Now, financial institutions, government bodies, communities, migrants, well-established firms, organizations and emerging startups are all facing the severe brunt of climate change crisis. How does increasing climate risk pose a danger to the world order? Thousands of lives are lost due to climate change and its chilling effects on the international and local economies. For instance, the Climate Risk Index Report 25 revealed that from 1993 to 2022, 765,000 people died worldwide and direct losses of nearly USD 4.2 trillion, which is inflation adjusted, directly resulted from more than 9,400 extreme weather events. Now, international trade dynamics, patterns and revenue models are rapidly changing due to climate change crisis. The global economic order is under escalating pressure and domestic economies are also feeling the pain. For example, the loss of GDP in the global economy and domestic economies of major powers, including India and China, are witnessing an alarming surge. Now, this results in cataclysmic effects on the corporates, investors, shareholders, and all other stakeholders. The cost on the global economy is exponential. The world GDP would be more than 37% higher today if no global warming had taken place between 1960 and 2019 as per the US's National Bureau of Economic Research, NBER. The researchers of the same paper revealed that the economic costs of a hotter planet most likely will be at least 6 times more than all the current estimates. Now, that is shocking. A similar study by the journal Nature pointed out that the average global incomes could drop additionally by around a fifth, 19% decline in the next 26 years due to climate change crisis. For instance, climate change induced disasters have led to unprecedented economic losses for the world's second largest economy, China. Extreme weather events caused an economic loss of more than $32 billion for China in the third quarter of the year 2024, which is massive. How is climate change threatening Indian businesses and economy? India is already a climate risk hotspot. Over 80% of its districts fall under the climate vulnerability zone. The Indian economy too could suffer a staggering 24.7% loss of its GDP by 2070 as per Asian Development Bank report. Now, rising sea levels and extreme weather events will drive these losses further in the coming years. Every aspect of life, from agriculture to labor, will feel the pain. The report warned that around 300 million people living in the coastal regions could be at high inundation risk due to the climate change crisis. This could also mean damage to trillions of dollars worth of coastal assets annually by 2070. In the most recent study by the Germanwatch Global Climate Risk Index 2025 report, India was ranked 6th amongst the most or the worst affected countries due to extreme climate change conditions and weather events between 1993 to 2022. Now, India witnessed more than 400 extreme weather events reported in 30 years with over 80,000 deaths. Now, the country also suffered a massive loss of $180 billion due to climate disasters, and more than 70% of all workers worldwide are at risk of exposure to heat. India lost around $100 billion from heat-induced productivity losses as per a 2024 International Labour Organization report. One thing that has emerged very clearly is the fact that the countries least responsible for climate change are predicted to suffer income loss that is 60% greater than the higher income countries and 40% greater than the higher emission countries as per studies, which is ironical. What we need therefore is urgent and coordinated climate action with a special focus on data to minimize climate risk, or at least manage it well, with government and businesses coming together for a timely response to the looming crisis. With investments in developing climate information systems, climate risk management systems, climate-proof financial investments, and effective use of technology could have helped either minimize or avoid such climate disasters on the economy.